And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. You know me, I am your lovely feline host of this thing where I talk about movies I just watched. And if you're a long-time viewer of the show, you'd be used to this talk show set, which I use all the time. All the time. Trust me. Every time I talk about a movie, I'm in this set. No changes, nothing funny business happening. Speaking of funny business, the movie I watched tonight was, good title, Late Night with the Devil. Late Night with the Devil. Audience studio laughter. So on and so forth. So yeah, Late Night with the Devil. Great title, by the way. Just rolls off the tongue and into the lips of Satan. Satan. So yeah, Late Night with the Devil. It's a pretty interesting concept for a movie. It's based for 90% of it is a mock version of a 70s talk show. Johnny Carson, David Letterman, so on and so forth. I'm old, but I'm not that old, so I did not grow up with Johnny Carson. I had the Conan O'Brien to keep me entertained when I was younger, and for some reason watched late night talk shows when I should have been doing other things, like masturbating. You know, the usual things you do when you're up late and you aren't an older person who would watch that stuff. I was kind of a weird kid. I was a bit early for Conan. To bring up UHF, once again, why did no one ever just do a parody with actual Conan the Barbarian hosting a talk show? That'd be spectacular. Anyways, late night talk shows, kind of a dying thing nowadays. There are several who are still on the air, but no one really cares. They're not exactly must-watch TV in the era of streaming and YouTube and yada yada. You're basically watching them because you grew up with them at this point, or your parents did, and it's kind of fallen into your routine at this point. Like even Conan's still around, but he ain't doing these. He hasn't done a talk show for years. He's doing streaming things where he's going around the world and irritating people. Well, you know, good for him. Good work when you can get it. So Late Night with the Devil is a pastiche, not really a parody, just a recreation of a 70s talk show with the premise of a talk show man with his show is on the rocks. It's getting ready to get canceled, and he's got to make a big comeback. So he's been turning his show into Maury Povich and Jerry Springer a couple decades early, while bringing in like people to fight and whatnot. And for his Halloween special, this is a bit of this thing. This is a recording of his infamous Halloween episode during sweeps, because of course he decides, let's bring in some satanic panic energy because of 70s, and he interviews a mind reader man doing the ooh-ah thing. I think someone did that. Ooh-ah, I'm reading your mind. You want to sniff my ass. Ooh, actually that's a dog in the audience. Hi, Bill. Said. And he also brings in the skeptic man, who was a former stage musician who can do hypnotism and stuff. And that guy is doing some magic tricks and being a colossal dillweed, but that's his bit, that's his character. It's pretty good. And then his other guest is exorcist girl and her keeper. And some stuff happens, and we get to our title of Late Night with the Devil. Late Night with the Devil. And this is pretty good, honestly. So you have the TV show element, and you also have the air quotes. Ooh, the stage is haunted. Ooh, haunted milk. Ooh. You have the element of the 70s talk show. That's been the recording of it. And then you have the behind the scenes archival footage where you're seeing the bit of background, a bit of the side stories happening from what's not on the cameras. And it's honestly, the entire thing is done pretty pitch perfect. The acting's good. The characters all hit their marks. Our plot is not exactly like deep, because the premise is in the title, Late Night with the Devil. Late Night with the Devil. This is not going to get old as I do that repeatedly. I have no real notes on it, honestly, because you're coming in here, you're watching a mock 70s late night talk show that happens to bring on a demon-possessed child, and things go bad. Things go bad in the terms of, like, some of the worst ideas you've ever seen someone decide to do in the pursuit of ratings. It goes like you would expect it, which is badly, and it's pretty entertaining. It's well done, acting's good. The devil-possessed child's got a great fucking dead-eye stare at the camera. I'm going, hello, Mr. Carson. Johnny 5 alive. So on and so forth. Our lead dude, whose name I forget, because I have my brain is a sponge. Everything leaks right out of it onto the floor, much like my crotch. And he's one of those actors where you see him a lot. Like, he's not a big name, but he's one of those guys who go, oh, it's that guy. And he's in a lot of shows where you go, oh, it's that guy. He's one of those working class actors, as it were. Hasn't had a big break yet, but he's actually pretty good. I know he's on a lot of, like, TV shows and streaming shows and whatnot, and he does a good job. He does a great job here. He does good. You got his sidekick man, who parody of various sidekicks you had on Johnny Carson and Conan and whatnot, and Jay Leno and such. Got a behind the scenes guy, you got producers, you got the yada yadas. Lots of fun stuff. I will say I do have a minor complaint, I guess, because they stick with. There's two parts of the movie where they don't stick to the 70s fake 70s talk show bit of the whole rest of the movie. The intro, which is propped up by being archival footage and setting you up for the the recently found footage of this scary night of television that supposedly really happened, possessed. And then you have the actual 70s, the actual show proper footage, and then the interspersed behind-the-scenes bits, which makes it a pretty easy watch because they're actually built-in commercial breaks, essentially. You know where it's coming, you hit pause, take a piss, come back, watch the behind-the-scenes, and the show starts up again, and there you go. Nice, breezy watch, I appreciate that. And not a long movie at all, so good. Nice, I appreciate it. My attention span is growing shorter by the day, so brisk, to the point, good job. Ooh, I think tired of that. Anywho, then the other spot is at the ending. The ending's great, but for some reason they decide to drop the 70s video look for that brief section, which I get why they dropped it, because it's the ending and we're going for impact and actually changing the visual style to a more traditional look versus the fake 70s show. I get it. It does make it is a visual difference from the rest of the movie, which does help with impact to a degree, but I think if they've kept the 70s look and filter on the entire thing, especially that part, would have worked better. I think it would have been much more creepy. It is a horror movie, and there are some creepy bits. There are a couple of quick little jump scares, some good gore gags happen near the end that are pretty nice, like, ooh, big finale of blood. Nice. Excellent. Appreciate it. But yeah, abandoning the 70s look for that brief last 5-10 minutes kind of hurts it. Like, it's not a complete, it doesn't break the movie or anything, but it is a visual question that I'd question. Like, why exactly? Feels almost like they ran out of their 70s filter for the ending, and they were like, well, we don't have it. Well, we're at our free trial of the 70s filter app has run out. Well, let's just finish the movie and hope for the best. So, kind of weird decision, but the rest of the movie is really strong. It's entertaining. The premise is great. Like, going as blind as you can past the obviousness of the trailer. Like, again, this is a movie that's, what it is on the tin, which is Late Night with the Devil. This is pretty much going to go where you think it's going to go. It's not a bad thing. Like, I don't have to be surprised utterly every time I watch a movie. I like that, but I also am fine knowing what I'm going to get when I watch something. Like, oh, Late Night with the Devil. I'm hoping it's a talk show with the devil showing up. I get that. It's what's on the tin. I am delivered this. I am satisfied. So yeah, this is probably one of the more interesting movies I've seen this year in terms of premise. It's well executed. No real issues beyond slight questionable decision with some visual things at the ending. Pretty good. I would invite the devil back on my show that I apparently run. I'm a talk show now. Yay! It's a show where I talk. Why didn't I just get a desk to begin with? This is nice. It's nice mahogany. I got a coffee cup. Give me. There's the coffee cup. See? Coffee. You coffee cup with Undertale critter on it. You are my guest. Tell me about your life, a coffee cup. Fill me in on the details. Really? Oh my. Saucy. This tea is being spilled everywhere in your coffee cup. So, that's ironic or something. The microphone's in the way of my bit. Yes. We're going to cut the commercial. I will see you all in the next review. In the meantime, please, join my Patreon. Send me money for making pornography for you, the audience, who pays me money, and likes weird porn involving a smelly cat with no penis. It is my brand. I bring it to you because I love you. And I also like to make you into me's by watching these things and paying me money to turn you into me's via pornography artwork. Because I love you. Also, I have do YouTube things, so, watch the rest of these. Occasionally I'll be in 3D. Well, not this 3D. 4D. 4K. 4K, 4D, and with a suit, eating food. Stuff like that. I'm probably going to go to commercial now. Bye! I no longer need you. Play us out, me at the band. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Bye.